What is up, everyone? This is Daniel Copy from Reaping Asmodeia, and you are listening to the Vulgar Display of Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Vulgar Display of Podcast, live from the Barn Studio. You got the Mox here with Anthony, and we are joined online right now with Daniel Copy from Reaping Asmodeia. Did I say it right, Daniel?
You got it.
Does it get, do people get it mixed up sometimes? Do they say it wrong? Does it get mispronounced quite a bit?
Yeah, because there's so many different spellings of Asmodeus and Asmodeia. So, yeah, usually people are, they're Asmodeia or EA or so. It doesn't matter. We expect people to not. It's one of those band names we expected.
Hey, and we have some mutual friends. I think you came across our radar, probably a year and a half ago or so. You have played Zymurgy Brew in Menomonie, Wisconsin, with Zymurgy Brewing Company with John and Dustin. And I know, you've played there quite a few times, right?
Yeah, so Reaping's played there a couple times, and then there's two of us from Reaping that have another project, which is actually a Misfits tribute. So that group has played there once as well. Yeah, John and Dustin, they're great dudes. Great dudes.
Love those guys, and they're actually, I think, the first sponsor that the Vulgar Display of Podcast actually ever had, right?
Truth.
Yeah, we went up there last year. We didn't get to catch you guys, unfortunately, but another buddy of ours who happens to just live in the area, Mark Worley, he was the one, I think he saw you, and he was sending us videos like, you got to check this band out. So the word is on the street that you guys are rocking, man.
Cool. Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear. Metal, especially nowadays. That's awesome. Word of mouth and everything. That's what we like to hear, is that people are talking.
Heck yeah, man. And you guys are from Minneapolis, is that right? Is that where you guys land?
Yep. Yeah. So basically the band is from the Twin Cities, the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. We're kind of spread out. Our bass player actually lives in Denver these days, but yeah, we're basically from the Twin Cities area.
And I know you guys toured for several years, I believe, as a three-piece without a bass player. But now I've seen the recent videos where you do have a bass player. Is that full-time?
Yeah. So Jacob, our bass player that's been for about a year and a half coming up, he was actually around towards the starting of the band. He ended up, I think it was 2015, 2016. He wanted to have kind of a life shift and a career change with what he was doing outside of music. Wanted to move to Denver. So at that point, we ended up having another bass player for a little while. But after parting ways with that guy, basically just we rolled as a three-piece for several years up until early last year.
And how would you fill out the sound? Did you guys play to backing track, or because the videos that I saw and everything that I've seen live, it sounds like a full sound. So how would you kind of accommodate for that?
Yeah, obviously with modern technology now, you have the ability to utilize other sound sources for the members that aren't there if you don't have them. So yeah, we were backtracking our bass tracks for all those years, obviously, then when we weren't running with a bass player. So luckily we're able to do that nowadays with things, and it worked out really well. There's not a lot of bands that can pull off a three-piece, obviously Dying Fetus is one, and they're obviously playing, they don't track any of their stuff because they have a bass player and a guitar player, but yeah, there's not a lot of bands that do that. I've seen a couple here and there, for tours that members can't make. But luckily, it worked out for all the years we did it. It wasn't that we didn't want another bass player per se, or even, we've always been open to the idea of having another guitar player, but I think it's just, finding the right fit for, whatever kind of project you have, whether it's musically, and personally, and all those different elements. Sometimes it's harder to find people that fit into a group of, another existing group of guys, I think.
So it looks like you guys just got off a pretty intense 10-day tour with Sea of Treachery. How did that run go?
It went really really well. So we did, I think it was we did a total of 12 or 13 dates, because we had a couple headliners. We had a few in the starting, and then we had one on the way home. It went really, really well. Myself, I'm kind of congested. Unfortunately, this was a tour that I got super sick before we left.
Ooh.
And it was great, and I'm glad that I'm the person that I am, and I was able to do every show that we did. But it was pretty fucking miserable, I'll be completely honest. I was well, and the thing is honestly, the whole band got sick. Our singer Eric, that's with us right now, got sick the week before we left. Luckily, he got better, but myself, Jacob, our bass player, and Alex, our guitar player, all three of us got sick the couple days, like 4 days before we left, and I got hit the worst. The other two guys got better, and I just kind of stayed worse and worse, unfortunately.
That sucks. This looks like it was no day off, 12, 13 days straight.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a good thing, especially, the previous tour we did was like 5 weeks long.
Jeez.
And we only, that was like 2 days off that were actually just drive days. So if I would have been in perfect health, that wouldn't have been a big deal. But it's anybody that plays sports, I think, or plays metal, that's the easiest, kind of like resemblance of like what you can, like, if you have to play a sporting event, or if you have to play a fucking rock and roll or a metal show, and you're sick, it's like the worst situation.
Right. Especially drums is pretty physically taxing on your body, I'm guessing. And it's, you're using a lot of your physical energy when you do that, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, for, like I said, for hard rock or metal, you're basically, you're an athlete at that point. So you're full throttle for that, like 30 to 60 minutes. And, luckily I've played sick tons and tons of times before, and it's really not fun, but sometimes you just got to fucking do it. And I'm glad that I was able to not cancel any shows. It did suck. I will say that first week that we were out, it was like every night I was playing, after that adrenaline high kind of wore off, that like hour after our set, like I was like having cold sweats and like shivering. Like I definitely had like fevers and shit every night. So it's like, it sucks, man, when like my big thing about playing and performing, I love meeting people. I'm a very sociable person. I love interacting with people, and it's like people would come up and like want to talk to me, and it's like, or shake my hand, and I'd be like, oh, give you an elbow, man. I don't want to fucking get you sick. Like, but it is what it is, man. And shit happens, and I think for me personally, this tour was I'll remember it for a very, very long time for a lot of different reasons, and that's just another reason.
Yeah, and that wouldn't fly too well with many bosses. Like, why are you calling out sick? Exactly. Oh, this metal band got me sick. Like, yeah, right, buddy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. So,
hey, Dark and Infinity's been out for a number of years now. Totally slams. Love that. Love all your tunes, man. What can we expect for 2024? Do we have a new album in the work, or any major announcements?
We are actually in the middle of recording right now. We started tracking an EP before we left. So yeah, we've been working on a lot of music for quite a while now. So this is an EP that I started putting together and writing about 2 years ago. And so me and Alex were working on this a while ago, my guitar player. When it comes you have like a metal style, I think that kind of dips into that technical region. For us, we write a lot and we're always working on things, but I think it takes us a long time to really hone in and fine tune things. So, but so we have an EP right now that the bass tracks are done. Jacob, our bass player, did the bass tracking before we left, and obviously same thing with modern technology and how you work pre-production. It's not like it was like 20, 30, 40 years ago where it's like you have to do the drums first. Like, so like, with this stuff, it's going to be kind of like our last record was kind of backwards too, where we did the drums more at the end. So it'll be pretty much the same thing. So the guitar tracking is going to probably start in the next week or something. And I'll be doing my drum tracks and starting mid of May, and then vocal production will be kind of in the middle. Like, I mean, that's the thing, is it's obviously with all the capabilities you have now with recording and doing certain things on your own, you can do things in a weird order if you need to, especially if like, obviously pre-production is that the idea is to have things laid out as well as you can and like as complete as you can for final tracking, since like we've always produced and recorded and done everything ourselves, and then we've always had some Zach Oren. Every album that we've done, Zach Oren has mixed and mastered, so we've just done all the production and done everything, and then had somebody else do the mixing and mastering.
Will this be out on Prosthetic Records as well?
This is probably this EP is going to be probably put out independently. We're kind of deciding what we want to do right now. We put out our last two albums with Prosthetic, and like our main guy, like Steve Joe, awesome dude. And I think it's just like we really want to focus on having a shorter format piece of work out right now, and that is probably going to be best for us to put out ourselves. We're exploring options right now, but I think that's probably what we're going to be doing with this EP, or at least a few songs. So that's kind of like everything that we're discussing right now. But yeah, like Steve Joe at Prosthetic, he's done a lot of stuff with a lot of bands. One of the best dudes in music that I've been fortunate enough to meet and work with.
That's always, motivating, I guess, to hear something like that about someone running a record label. This is the Vulgar Display podcast here with Daniel Copy of Reaping Asmodeia. Where can they follow you on the socials, Daniel, to keep up with everything that you guys are going to be releasing?
Reaping Asmodeia at, Facebook, Instagram. We're going to be doing more stuff on our own personal YouTube channel for Reaping Asmodeia. Obviously, I have my own socials. Instagram, Daniel Copies _RA. I mean, everyone can find you pretty easily with all that stuff. Spotify, Apple Music, any of that stuff. So Bandcamp, all the typical things that any band nowadays is going to have. You can find us.
And then when you get closer to the release of the album, we'd love to have you back on and maybe even do like an album review, and hopefully get you down to St. Louis at some point. Really appreciate your time today, man, and looking forward to that new record.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, buddy.